This is my 21.2 Ergogenic Aids presentation. So a little introduction to Ergogenic Aids. So they're used by most elite athletes and many non-elite athletes. Ergogenic Aids is anything used to support yourself while performing sport, or after sport, or before sport. This can be legal and illegal substances that are used by competitors. Legal ergogenic aids, for example, legal supplements, high-tech equipment such as light gates, or clothing such as ice vests to keep you cool during exercise. Illegal ergogenic aids could be EPO, for example, used by Lance Armstrong during the Tour de France, and anabolic steroids used by many athletes competing in the 100-meter sprints. So key organisations consist of IOC, WADA, UK Sport and NGB. So IOC is the International Olympic Committee. They state that one of their slogans is to lead the fight against doping in sport. This shows that they want to promote sports ethics and fair play. They want to help to encourage and support development of sport for all, therefore trying to improve legal ergogenic aids and preventing use of illegal ergogenic aids as much as they can. WADA state that play true is their slogan. This is because they feel that playing sport fairly is the correct way. They also state that different ergogenic aids which are banned and not allowed to be used by athletes, for example anabolic steroids, so they have a big list on their website which has many different illegal substances which aren't allowed to be used by athletes. UK Sport, so they have a strategy called the 100% Me. This is an anti-doping process to encourage people to use hard work and determination to reach success instead of turning to drugs at all levels of competition. UK Sport are very successful as they educate 15,000 school children and have helped athletes to win over 640 medals. So this shows that what they're doing really does make a difference. NGB, so national governing bodies, help promote fair play and equality in their sports. For example, the FA with football helped to increase participation in sport while promoting fair play and equality between players. This will aid sport as children coming through the system will know not to take drugs or use illegal ergogenic aids, and there's a chance that if they do, they will be caught and potentially ruin their career that could have been a possibility. So here's a little overview on ergogenic aids. I'll go into more detail of a specific ergogenic aid of this category in the next few slides, so I'll cover 6, which is all of them, and then plus another extra one. So there are 5 different types of ergogenic aids. These are pharmaceutical, physiological, mechanical, psychological, and nutritional aids. These cover all aspects of ergogenic aids, and many are used by non-professional and elite athletes. These can be for like everyday use, such as supplementing creatine if you go to the gym, or like using compression wear and ice baths after recovery. So it can be used by anyone. Anyone can run a bath if they've got one and put some ice in it and make it cold. Anyone can wear compression wear, and there's no limits on creatine use. However, like elite athletes might have these things in better quality or easily accessible. So these ergogenic aids can vary in price. So some are quite cheap, and as we said, accessible by all, whereas some are very expensive and used only by elite athletes or others who can afford them. Like there are some expensive like brands such as Nike and stuff where the football boots are really expensive, so many people at our age don't have the top quality ones, whereas all the professional elite athletes are sponsored, so they get them all for free. Okay, so the first ergogenic aid I'll be looking at is music, and this is a psychological ergogenic aid. So music is a widely used ergogenic aid. It's used in different ways for different athletes, yet all music can be used for the psychological aid. Um, some athletes may use the music to get them hyped up for a big match, or to relax after a training session, or then to motivate them while they're actually currently exercising. There are many different ways music is used, and these are some of them. Music can help to bring a team together if they all have a mutual favourite song that gets them all hyped up before a game. Of course, music is legal and can be used by any athlete, whether they are professional or recreational. Positive effects of music are that it can help get an athlete fired up, motivated, and increase the social aspects within a team. One main strength is that music can narrow an athlete's attention span, therefore focusing on the music instead of the fatigue that is setting in. This, for example, could be during sub-maximal exercise like a marathon. So during marathons, many people do listen to music to motivate them. Um, However, there are also negative effects with music. So, for example, music could potentially cause arguments in a team, as one person may want to listen to certain music while someone else wants to listen to their own music, and it could all have a row about it in a team environment where big egos are around each other. Also, some athletes can become too chilled out after listening to music, which is not ideal when playing elite level sports. Other athletes may become over excited listening to music, meaning they may be liable to make a rash decision or, for example, a bad tackle in football. For a heptathlete, music can be used for all of the sports. However, the longer 800-meter run would be useful to have music, as it will help the athlete to be motivated to carry on through the whole run. Okay, the next is HGH, which is a physiological ergogenic aid. So HGH is a hormone produced by the body. It can be manufactured synthetically to enhance the use of the hormone. HGH helps to improve the rate of growth and increase size, therefore adding power and size to an athlete. The drug also allows for an athlete to recover from fatigue at a faster rate, allowing them to train harder next session at a more frequent rate. Obviously, it's a hormone that is produced by the body, so if you're producing it, it's not illegal. But if you're using manufactured synthetic HGH, then it is illegal and it's not allowed to be used. So for a heptathlete, the shot put section of the event would aid from HGH due to recovery time aid, so the athlete can go and train again quicker to improve strength and power for the explosive movement of shot put. However, obviously it is illegal, so wouldn't recommend elite athletes or any athlete to use this. Many athletes will use these, though. For example, bodybuilders will use it to help aid muscle growth and then recover from fatigue, therefore helping them to improve their physiques for competitions. Another aid of HGH is the fact it helps with weight loss, so people use HGH to lose weight. HGH can cause a disease called acromegaly, which can make an athlete's hand increase in size, looking spade-like, which was the description given. Another disadvantage even is that organs such as the heart and liver can grow excessively, causing heart attacks or liver failure. Okay, my third one is caffeine, which is pharmaceutical. So caffeine is obviously a widely used ergogenic aid, grown naturally and then can be adapted by scientists. Caffeine helps to reduce fatigue and even reduce pain slightly while improving focus. This is because caffeine stimulates the central nervous system. So caffeine obviously is found in coffee, energy drinks, sports drinks, some certain foods, supplements, so it's widely used. Caffeine is available to basically anyone and is fully legal. Like anyone could go to the shop and buy an energy drink and use this for caffeine. So, however, elite athletes are restricted to how much they can consume. For example, at the Olympics, Since 1984 to 2004, only 12 milliliters of caffeine could be consumed by the athlete. If an athlete was above this, then they could have been kicked out of the games. Most athletes will use caffeine as it is allowed to be used in certain doses. There are also beneficial aspects to caffeine, therefore most athletes will use it. Also, many everyday people will use caffeine. Caffeine will help to improve performances due to reducing fatigue, reducing pain, and improving focus. Caffeine can cause bad headaches, restlessness, sleep difficulties, and upset stomach. It can also increase blood pressure, which are all disadvantages. I feel high jump would be a great event to use caffeine with, due to the fact it focuses on precision a lot. Therefore, the caffeine will help you to focus on your jump. So number 4 is protein, which is nutritional. So protein powders consist of three different types. There's whey, soy, and casein protein. Protein is a key part of our diet. The protein will help to build and repair muscle, therefore athletes will supplement protein into their diet along with eating protein. It's fully legal to any athlete or non-athlete to use. There are no restrictions on protein as long as companies have not put ingredients in it which are banned, then it would be illegal to be used. Any athlete who is focusing on building muscle and strength would use this. This is a widely used supplement in many different sports, as the athletes will usually go to the gym along with performing their sport, so they want to build muscle and strength. Positive effects are that the protein is easy to consume, it's also quite cheap, and it helps to grow and repair muscle. However, negative effects are that there can be dodgy ingredients put in the supplement. Also, just having protein shakes won't build you muscle, which is a common misconception, and also if too much is consumed it can have bad effects on the athlete's stomach. The high jump would aid from the use of protein, as it would allow them to build and grow muscle to propel the athlete over the jump. My 5th one is anabolic steroids, which is pharmaceutical. Anabolic steroids are a hormone which represents testosterone. Anabolic steroids help to speed up recovery time. This will mean that the athletes can then train harder and not feel as fatigued, and can train soon after the last training session. Anabolic steroids can be legal or illegal. For example, with bodybuilding, when competing, it is allowed to use anabolic steroids as long as they're not competing in like a natural category. However, if anabolic steroids were used in rugby or football, for example, then the athlete may get disqualified, as they are illegal in these sports. It is very rare to find a sport where steroid use is legal, but bodybuilding seems to be one example where it is allowed. But there are not many sports which allow the use of steroids. Positive effects are that the anabolic steroids speed up recovery time, meaning the athlete can train for longer at higher intensities while increasing training load, so they could train more times a week. So instead of training 4 times a week, they might be able to train 6 times a week. Negative effects of anabolic steroids are increased aggression levels, known as roid rage. This is due to the testosterone, with an increase of liver disease and kidney disease, so the chances of getting it are a lot higher. Anabolics could be used for a 100-meter sprint due to the fact it would help the athlete to train harder and for longer to improve power and strength for 100-meter sprints. There are examples where this has been used by many different sprinters. The last one is compression clothing. This is mechanical. Compression clothing is a skin-tight piece of clothing. Due to the tight fitting of the clothing, it offers support for muscles, increases warmth, and due to support it can reduce the chance of injury. The compression wear can consist of tops, leggings, tights, and vests. Many different brands make these, such as Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. They're available to be worn by anyone in sport, which is suitable for football, rugby, running, all these sort of sports. Compression clothing can be purchased at high street shops or online, so yeah, anywhere really. Positive effects are the clothing keep you warm, support muscles, and promote blood flow to an area compressed. Negative effects are that the clothing can be quite expensive. Something can be uncomfortable if worn in the wrong areas.